Hello, we are
Hello.
official. We're up and running, and welcome to you all. Getting to be not only wise, knowledgeable people about the ways of the world and beyond, but also getting to be YouTube stars. Did you ever think you'd be in the media?
No.
Well, here you are, and some of my favorite people. Thank you for being here for our Unity of Livonia ACIM Study Group tonight. And we are still studying those supplements, the two supplements at the end of A Course in Miracles. And we've been looking at the second one called the Song of Prayer. And it's divided into basically three sections. One has to do with prayer itself, and the other thing that it contains is forgiveness. You know how A Course in Miracles talks a lot about forgiveness?
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, this supplement spends an entire section talking about forgiveness. So that's number two, or part two of the Song of Prayer. By the way, that starts on page 9. I pulled up the table of contents now. So we're almost to forgiveness because we're going to start tonight on page 7. Okay. So we'll finish up prayer and maybe even get to forgiveness, or at least the introduction in that tonight. And then after we finish all the sections in forgiveness, we'll be on the last section called healing. And I think that's one of the most important elements that A Course in Miracles tries to get us to understand is what its definition of healing is. It is repairing separation, isn't it? And we always say it's restoring wholeness, which was the original state. And then there was this tiny mad idea that you could have your own separate heaven, and everything went kaflooey from there. All right. So that's my summary. I hope that's enough to get us in the mood for tonight. Within section 2 on prayer, it started out with a short introduction on what prayer is, and then it talked about this ladder of prayer. And I think the thing that stands out to me is praying to entreat. You remember praying to entreat? What's praying to entreat?
Asking God for a favor.
Okay, asking for things. All right, like you need something.
Mhm.
And this says that is the mistake. It's not true prayer. Maybe it's what we've been taught, but I'm here to tell you that's why we're doing this. I wrote this supplement, if you will, is to let you know what true prayer is. And once you can get into this true prayer, then it talks about the power of prayer and goes into a section called, look where I am on page 5 with me. Okay, once you get established as to what true prayer is, then you can entertain praying with others. I'm sorry, praying for others and praying with others. So it starts out with what true prayer is and then talks about praying for others. I think the thing that stands out to me from praying for others is where he brought up this thing like, remember it said praying for, if you're praying for your enemies, which is hard enough, right? That's
Right.
still not it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Then maybe go over it a little bit. Okay. If you are praying for your enemies, it means you're still captured by the illusion. The truth is, you have no enemy. Is that hard for you to believe, to accept?
No.
Mhm.
There are no people enemies. That's all an illusion that you made up. There are no thing enemies. You made that up too. So if we're going to enter true prayer, we have to relinquish such notions, because notions like that cast a veil over true prayer. It's a block to true prayer to think you have adversaries of any kind. So if these people that I don't like aren't really my enemies, who the hell are they then? Let's go to that one. If I have no enemies, who are all these people and things that go up in my face?
They're my teachers.
All right. And in what way are they my teachers?
They show me what I don't want to see.
Okay. And then we talked about, if you thought you were planting corn and you're seeing strawberries show up, isn't that good news to know that your plan needs to be adjusted because it don't work? It's not working. If you're not seeing corn, right? It's
Right.
obviously not working. So all of your brothers and sisters are a reflection of thought. I was just looking at a YouTube video today. As a matter of fact, I may share it with you, send you a link on Hermeticism. Are you familiar with Hermeticism?
No.
It's named after Hermes, Hermes. One of the books that came from Hermeticism is called the Kybalion, Kybalion. Not the Kabbalah. This is called the Kybalion. The reason I bring up Hermes, and I'm excited about sharing this information with you guys, is that Hermeticism is considered to be the oldest spirituality there is. It's the one that most of our major religions came from, but most people still don't know. So if you get to Kabbalion, okay, there's a method to my madness here. I know where I'm going. If you get to Kabbalion, it's a small book that outlines several principles or laws by which everything works. And the first law is that everything is mental. Now, this came out of the early Egyptian history and that Hermes, okay? But the first thing they say too is that everything is mental. That's what A Course in Miracles says, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So to quickly get back to the subject, if all these people and things that rub you the wrong way are illusory, they are merely a reflection of your mentality. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Then if you want to change what they look like, that's going to be mental work, isn't it? Don't make me use going and looking in the bathroom mirror again, okay? So this says all the things you're seeing are a reflection of your mental activity. You say, well, that can't be. That is so powerful and real. But if you're a child of the Creator, how powerful would you be? Wouldn't you be like your Creator? So, as incredible as it seems, you see it all. If you allow it, it makes perfect sense. And it's confirmed and corroborated by a lot of other religions. If you look at their core, all it says is that there is a creator and its nature is good. So if you're seeing bad, where are you?
In the ego.
You're living in a hallucination. It's a mistake. So let's not insert the mistake into your prayer life. And then you'll wonder why prayer doesn't work. You can't ask the Creator for things that do not exist. So if you're asking for physical things, material things, if you're asking for to vanquish adversaries, that's not the definition of what prayer is. Either entreaty or to go out and get rid of your enemies. So if you have enemies, your problem is misidentification rather than something that is real. Now, as incredible as that sounds, isn't that what this teaches? I'm asking. If you don't see it that way, that's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So if we can get off that first rung in the ladder of prayer, there are several others, but the first thing is don't ask for stuff like you have any needs, and don't come in there asking the Creator to be mean to somebody.
Right.
Okay. I know that's a big ask, but that's where we are, aren't we? So if we presuppose we get off that step, we talked about praying for others, and don't say you want to pray for your enemies because you're in la la land again, but break through that barrier, and true prayer can be your goal. Then we talked about, and what I didn't mean to go into it, but I never know where these are going, but that's part of the fun for me. You like it.
Right.
Cool. All right. We're ready to get started here on page 7. And our reader list is who does not want to read? Let me start there. Oh, Hilda, you're with us. Let's go. Cheryl.
No, I need to pass.
All right, my dear. No
I'm sorry.
problem. Sure, that's okay. So Sherilyn's 1, Ron is 2, Joan is 3, Hilda's not reading, and Frank is 4. Okay, I'll be reader 5 if we get that far. And we're on page 7 called Praying with Others. So, Sherilyn, why don't you get us started there, please?
All right. Praying with others, paragraph 1. Until the second level at least begins, one cannot share in prayer. For until that point, each one must ask for different things. But once the need to hold the other as an enemy has been questioned, and the reason for doing so has been recognized, if only for an instant, it becomes possible to join in prayer. Enemies do not share a goal. It is in this their enmity is kept. Their separate wishes are their arsenals, their fortress in hate. The key to rising further still in prayer lies in this simple thought, this change of mind. We go together, you and I.
Let's stop there. Your comments about what's the first level? Jesus says until the second level at least begins. What's the first level?
Is that praying for others?
That's true. But to me, the big thing that came out of praying for others is don't act like you have adversaries or enemies, or you interfere with true prayer. The purpose of true prayer is much holier than that. It's on a whole different level. If the Creator is good, where are enemies? Where are they?
We just
Your
talked about
ego made them up.
Yeah.
And its attempt to support separation, differences, right?
Right.
So you're not going to go for that illusion as you enter prayer. But if you can get into a state where you accept that the Creator is real and the Creator is good, now we're ready to pray. Sincerely ready to pray. But you see, that's such an obstacle because of what we have been taught prayer is. It's like, gimme, right? If you give me this, God, I ain't never cussing no more. Right?
Right.
If you give me this, I'll give up women forever. So, okay, do you see how it's almost disrespectful to the holiness of what this communion, this communication is? So let's get out of that. So it says until the second level, until you get out of that and move into the next level, you cannot share in prayer. So you cannot truly pray with others. Isn't that where he's starting this discussion?
Okay.
What else do you see in that paragraph? Sentence 4, enemies do not share a goal. Therefore, they don't have the power of joining because they don't have unified goals. Let's talk about, I've seen this definition of universe. You know it, uni, one, right?
Mhm.
I've heard the verse part described as one song.
Yeah.
Notice this is a song, and we talked about why you would want to refer to it as a song rather than how to achieve prayer. Music has a different element about it. It carries not only the primary notes, but it carries certain overtones that collectively make it a very beautiful thing. Remember in this one, it said sometimes in prayer, as you move toward this, it still won't be there, but it'll be on the fringe. You'll start to hear the overtones, even if you don't get the direct message. So in that word universe, I've heard it defined as one song that we all sing. Like when we all come together under one conductor, like the symphony orchestra, and we all sing one song, we all participate, we're all interested in achieving a unified goal. You don't have a clarinets wafting off doing those things and the violins playing a different song and then the percussion is doing something else. Do you see how their goals are not unified? But when they come together, it's amazing, isn't it? They are all singing one song. So that's the point I'm trying to make here. What about that word enmity? It's in sentence 5, ENMITY. He says, and 4, enemies do not share a goal. It is in this their enmity is kept. What does he mean?
Hate.
They're still not unified.
It's hate.
Okay, and we could look it up or whatever, but it's saying the reason they can't come, it is the fact that they don't share the same goal
Right.
that makes them different from one another. That's what I got out of it. Their separate wishes, I'm on sentence 6, their separate wishes are their arsenals, their fortresses in hate. My goal is this, and your goal is that, and your goal is something else again. And hey, I can't work with you because we don't share the same goals. That's separation. And notice that it seems to be mental, doesn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
Anything else you have? I won't belabor this one any further. I guess I did already. It's only one little paragraph. The first thing, though, is the recognition we go together, you and I. And did anyone want to say anything about that? If not, we'll keep going. All right. Paragraph 2, we're up to Mr. Cohen, please.
Okay. Now it is possible to help in prayer and so reach up yourself. This step begins the quicker ascent, but there are still many lessons to learn. The way is open and hope is justified. Yet it is likely at first that what is asked for even by those who join in prayer is not the goal that prayer should truly seek. Even together you may ask for things and thus set up but an illusion of a goal you share. You may ask together for specifics and not realize that you are asking for effects without the cause. And this you cannot have. For no one can receive effects alone, asking a cause from which they do not come to offer them to him.
I'm tempted to stop, but let's do one more. Joan, how about paragraph 3?
Okay, paragraph 3. Even the joining then is not enough if those who pray together do not ask before all else, what is the will of God? From this cause only can the answer come in which are all specifics satisfied, all separate wishes unified in one. Prayer for specifics always asks to have the past repeated in some way. What was enjoyed before or seemed to be, what was another's, and he seemed to love, all these are but illusions from the past. The aim of prayer is to release the present from its chains of past illusions, to let it be a freely chosen remedy from every choice that stood for a mistake. What prayer can offer knows so far exceeds all that you asked before that it is pitiful to be content with less.
We may as well finish the section. There's only, I think, one more paragraph. So
Yes.
let's go to Frank. Would you do paragraph 4, Frank?
Number 4, you have chosen a newborn chance each time you pray. And would you stifle unimprisoned in ancient prisons when the chance has come to free yourself from all of them at once? Do not restrict your asking. Prayer can bring the peace of God. What time-honored thing can give you more than this in just a little space that lasts until it crumbles into dust?
Thank you. In paragraph 2, it talks about effects and cause, doesn't it? You see those words in paragraph 2, either effect or cause. Yes?
Yes, number
Yes.
6, sentence 6.
this may be helpful to repeat. The law of cause and effect is the most fundamental law there is. In order to have effects, no, all effects have a cause. And in order to be a cause, you must have effects. You can't be a cause unless you produce effects. And effects can't manifest without a cause. The lay version of that is nothing happens by coincidence. Have you heard that before?
Yes.
How many things happened to you? How come you saw these people today instead of some others in the supposed 8 billion people? Why these people? I'm not really asking you because you don't know. So you say it's just a coincidence. Well, which one is true? Cause and effect or coincidence? We don't even think about it until we come to study groups like this that bring up things that you've just basically made an excuse rather than find its cause. Okay. So if we look at paragraph 2, it talks about in sentence 4, yet it is likely at first that what is asked for, even by those who join in prayer, is not the goal that prayer should truly seek. So if you feel the next step and you don't have any enemies and you get together, now you can get together to pray with others, that's still not it, because it depends on what you pray for, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other caveat that he's bringing up, even as we go up this ladder of prayer. I'm going to shut up a little bit because I think the last section, bear with me a minute, okay? Oh boy. Daughter, are you there? I am. It's study group night. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I was just checking on you. So
I appreciate that. Let me give you a call back later or something.
yeah.
All right. And everyone in the group says, tell you hello.
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 All right, Aja. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Thanks for your indulgence here. We were talking about the law of cause and effect. And so let me read to you in paragraph 2 something that as to why I brought that up. In sentence 6, you may ask together for specifics and not realize that you are asking for effects without a cause. That's deep. And I want to stay here with you for a minute about it. Okay. If you ask If you ask for things based on you being an individual, it won't work. Remember the ladder of prayer? So maybe you got off the first wrong, but you can still mishandle advanced wrongs instead of true prayer if you and the others you're praying with are asking for ego identified things. If you're asking for specific things, you with me?
Yep.
There are no specific things in true prayer. Now, where are we going with this? Right? We're going to talk about it some more where it says the latter ends. If you're asking a cause that is real, the effects will have reality. If you're taking the guidance of a cause that is unreal, what will its effects be?
Unreal.
Illusory. If you're taking guidance from the ego, if your guidance is ego-centered and you're asking for, and you want prayer for individual or specific things, I'm sorry to tell you, you're still not in true prayer. So I hope you're not tired. I hope you're just merely intrigued about what then is true prayer, because it's got a lot of pitfalls on that ladder, right? Along the way. Now, I'm ready to go to the next section, but what questions or comments do you all have on page 7? Somebody explain why it's important to say and to think, we go together, you and I. Do you see it? It's in italics. Let's talk about that a bit before we go on. And I know somebody understands it.
I think really the thing is, like, in terms of music, to say we all sing the same song. So we're on the same melody as opposed to being slightly off.
If we don't sing the same song,
We're off.
it
So
won't work.
we have to be on the same vibration level than everybody else.
Prayer won't work. Now, so consider what prayer is. It will always impact what's good for everyone. Yes?
Yes.
Should be.
Or it's not true prayer. So a milestone is when you understand that your prayer life must always benefit everyone. Is that the way what you were taught prayer is? No.
No.
Me either. And I certainly believe Jesus understands what a shock this is to your system. But it's all based on one simple thing. We are one. You can't ask for something for you alone. We go together, you and I. What I get, you must get. What you get impacts me. Why? Because we're not separate. So don't think you can go into true prayer unless you drop this separation approach. Y'all still in shock? Me too. Here, let's see if we can button this up a little bit. I think I'm the next reader, right? Because Frank just read.
Number 4.
Yeah, let's look at page 8 and let me get that started, okay? Romans 5, the latter ends. Prayer is a way to true humility. And here again, it rises slowly up and grows in strength and love and holiness. Let it but leave the ground where it begins to rise to God, and true humility will come at last to grace the mind that thought it was alone and stood against the world. Humility brings peace because it does not claim that you must rule the universe, nor judge all things as you would have them be. All little gods it gladly lays aside, not in resentment, but in honesty and recognition that they do not serve. You are not an individual. Do not go into prayer with that identity, because you're a fake if you go into it. There is no individual. So when you go into prayer, you're praying for everybody all the time if you're going into true prayer. It's different, right? What does humility mean?
To be humble.
Now, what does humble mean?
To me, it means everybody's equal.
Okay. It's to decrease your self-importance. It's to say, not my will, you've heard this before, but thy will be done.
Right.
My communication with you is to recharge my battery with clarity as to what my purpose is and to what you would have me do next. Isn't that being humble? Instead of praying as though you were in charge of anything?
Right.
I think the ego doesn't like that though.
No, of course not.
Okay. Because the ego wants to be in control.
That's right.
God bless your ego. It don't work that way, period. Full stop. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're meaningless. You have no effect on the truth. So if I want to go and establish this eternal communication that was built into creation, I have to go there as a servant of the Creator. Is that another way of saying, not my will, but thy will be done? Was it last night at ACIM Talks? We're reading that excerpt from the Bible with the Apostle Paul, and he says, I die daily so that myself can live. Isn't that humility?
Yes.
Yes.
Paragraph 2, we're up to Sherilyn again.
Ready. Illusions and humility have goals so far apart they cannot coexist, nor share a dwelling place where they can meet. Where one has come, the other disappears. The truly humble have no goal but God because they need no idols, and defense no longer serves a purpose. Enemies are useless now because humility does not oppose. It does not hide in shame because it is content with what it is, knowing creation is the will of God. Its selflessness is self, and this it sees in every meeting where it gladly joins with every son of God, whose purity it recognizes that it shares with him.
Do you see consistency in paragraph 2 with the point I was making before? I don't know. Comments? The whole thing is you got to get out of your ego. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
In order to be authentic and participate in authentic prayer. The whole logic and concepts of separation have to be let go of in order to enter this holy domain. You have to diminish yourself so that your true self goes into prayer. I didn't know this stuff about prayer either until I got into this Course in Miracles stuff. But doesn't that coincide, like metaphorically, where the Apostle Paul said, I die daily to the self with the small s, so that my self with that capital S can be engaged. The veil, the small s, gets removed so that I can deal in reality now. That exchange with that vibrational mindset is what we are seeking to engage in true prayer. It's almost 180 degrees different than what I was taught prayer was. And yet I can see the consistency of this whole thing, whether it's A Course in Miracles or in this supplement. They don't seem to contradict each other to me. What about to you? All right. We've read 2 paragraphs. Stay here a minute with me. How are you going to use this information? I mean, does it have any practical value or application? If so, what are your thoughts? Does it make a difference in your daily life?
I would pray differently than I do normally.
Okay.
From a humble point of view rather than ego, rather than praying for things or praying for gimme, gimme, gimme.
So who created all these brothers and sisters, and why were they created? If you're humble about it, would you judge? Why wouldn't you judge? Let's say, no, I won't judge. Why wouldn't you judge?
I might judge myself.
Okay, that all sounds nice. I got that part. But let's just be practical. Why would you not? Who are all these people? What are all of these things? They must have a cause, right?
Okay.
So the truth is, you can't judge because you don't know.
Okay.
It's not putting me down to say that. It's just being honest. I have somehow covered over knowledge, and I put this veil over my mentality so I don't see things clearly. I see things from a point of view of being a separate, autonomous entity. Yes?
Yes.
But what if the creator created them also? Would they be for good or bad? Would they carry the traits of the creator? Yes?
Yes. Yes, they would.
Yeah, I think
Then
we all
where
do.
the hell are we that we don't see them that way? It makes no sense that they wouldn't be created like their creator. Well, I don't know what the creator is. All right, suppose the creator is love. What would its creations be?
They would be love also.
And what are we taught to see? Some are love, some are not. It's up to me to decide. I'm just trying to be honest. Isn't this just being honest? Okay. um, Paragraph 3, we're up to Ron, please.
Yes. Now prayer is lifted from the world of things, of bodies, and from gods of every kind, and you can rest in holiness at last. Humility has come to teach you how to understand your glory as God's Son and recognize the arrogance of sin. A dream has veiled the face of Christ from you. Now can you look upon his sinlessness? High has the ladder risen. You have come almost to heaven. There is little more to learn before the journey is complete. Now can you say to everyone who comes to join in prayer with you, I cannot go without you, for you are a part of me. And so he is in truth. Now can you pray only for what you truly share with him, for you have understood he never left, and you, who seem alone, are one with him.
Mm-hmm. And let's go to Joan, right?
Okay. Paragraph 4.
Yes.
The letter ends with this: for learning is no longer needed. Now you stand before the gate of heaven, and your brother stands beside you there. The lawns are deep and still, for here the place appointed for the time when you should come has waited long for you. Here will time end forever. At this gate, eternity itself will join with you. Prayer has become what it was meant to be, for you have recognized the Christ in you.
Okay, thank you. 3 and 4, and we finished up this section. Does paragraph 3 make sense? Now prayer is lifted from the world of things. Prayer is on a higher level than things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost disrespectful to call things in prayer. The only real prayer is, what do you want me to do next? What's the right thing to do next?
Mm-hmm.
What's the good thing to do next? It can't be anything but good.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're asking for instructions. I work for the Creator. How about you? What else could I do or be? Part of something bigger. I'm not an individual. I'm a more glorious thing than an individual. Who would want to be this little puny thing in light of the everywhere and the all? Wouldn't you like to be part of the all? There's a lot of power in that. I see you're speechless again, or what are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I like what you said about I work for the Creator. I love that.
Okay, and it's not like slavery work.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a wonderful, loving Creator. Hey, if you can find a better boss than this, let me know.
Mhm.
It's not like I work for a slave driver, is it?
Mhm.
No.
You see why A Course in Miracles and that really does present a whole different way of looking at things. But what it presents, if you allow it, as incredible, as oppositional as it seems, if you give it a chance, it makes as much sense and more than what I was taught. How about you?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes a convincing argument if you're willing to entertain it. That's why the Course talks about all you need to give is a little willingness. And let me show you. Some of it is with these words, but it's really how, as you accept these words, which is mental, right? As they impact your mentality, it impacts your thoughts. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And it'll have you confirm it when you see corn instead of strawberries.
Strawberries.
Now, that makes about as much sense as the old logic system, right? And praying for things and why that is, again, almost disrespectful to the holiness involved in this communication that was established in our creation. So, hey, Reverend Jim don't know if any of this is true. All I got to go on is my common sense. And if you want to know where salvation is, it certainly makes more sense than wars. It certainly makes more sense than who has the most money or has the biggest mansion. I like it because it rings true. We've still got some time. If you're willing to go on, let's go into this next section called forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is mentioned throughout A Course in Miracles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to spend some time here talking about just what is this forgiveness and of what benefit is it to us in leading to our awakening, our salvation, if you will. So I think we're up to Frank for our next reader. We're on page 9, sir.
Yes.
2, forgiveness, introduction. 1. Forgiveness offers wings to prayer to make it rising easy and its progress swift. Without its strong support, it would be vain to try to rise above prayer's bottom step, or even to attempt to climb at all. Forgiveness is prayer's ally, sister in the plan for your salvation. Both must come to hold you up and keep your feet secure, your purpose steadfast and unchangeable. Behold the greatest help that God ordained to be with you until you reach to Him. Illusion's end will come with this. Unlike the timeless nature of sister, prayer, forgiveness has an end, for it becomes unneeded when the rising is done. Yet now it has a purpose beyond which you cannot go, nor have you need to go. Accomplish this, and you have been redeemed. Accomplish this, and you have been transformed. Accomplish this, and you will save the world. Wow.
What we're trying to do is remove the blocks to our awareness of love's presence. An adjunct to prayer, if you're trying to get to this zone, is to remove the blocks. The process of removing the blocks is called forgiveness. That is the active participation that expedites finding your true self and this spiritual connection of prayer. Once again, it's not doing as much as it's undoing. Forgiveness undoes the mistakes. Do you know how hard it is for you to really accept that that person that gets all on your nerves shouldn't get on your nerves? I mean, it's easy for us to say in study group, right?
Yes.
So I'd be the first one to admit, for me, and I think we have that in common. These are not easy, but they're doable. Well, all right, maybe I'll try it, but the next question is, how do I accomplish such an enormous task? It's bothering me because I have no idea. But then you said that's okay because I don't have any ideas anyway. I don't know anything. I wish I had some help. I would try it if you would show me how to do this. And dad and mom say, oh, we already thought of that. Where is it? I put it in your head even when you didn't want it there. I still stuck it in there. It's called the Holy Spirit in this book. So you don't have to know how to do it. You have to be willing to let it be done for you. How are we doing?
Good.
In order for it to work, you're going to have to go from being in charge to humility. Okay. Now, lowering, quote unquote, yourself through humility is not an affront to you. Humility only confirms your honesty. Because the truth is, you don't know anything. Now, we're not trying to beat up on you, right? We love you, right? Papa says. But because I love you, I can't let you run off into oblivion with ideas that are only going to make you suffer. You are not an individual. Okay, maybe I can get an AI agent to repeat that to you all through the day. I am not an individual. Does that make you sad? Or
Nope.
does it make you feel like you can release a lot of burdens that we've been carrying artificially? Like figuring out how to live our lives. You work on that, don't you?
Yes.
All would be lost if you messed up, right?
No.
Oh, do you see the dichotomy, the paradox? It's like you want freedom, you want eternity, and you've got it. The problem is you don't see it. Why don't you see it? because you wanted separate heavens. It will not work. So I need you to start living as though the laws of heaven apply here in level 2. We pray for one another. We love one another. This isn't Reverend Jim saying this. You've heard these things before. But can you appreciate why? Because it's true. Any comments? Forgiveness of yourself. Let's go there. We're up to, gee whiz, Frank, you read, right?
And Jim's next.
Yeah, Jim's next. All right. Forgiveness of yourself. No gift of heaven has been more misunderstood than has forgiveness. It has, in fact, become a scourge, a curse where it was meant to bless, a cruel mockery of grace, a parody upon the holy peace of God. Yet those who have not yet chosen to begin the steps of prayer cannot but use it thus. Forgiveness' kindness is obscure at first because salvation is not understood nor truly sought for. What was meant to heal is used to hurt because forgiveness is not wanted. Guilt becomes salvation, and the remedy appears to be a terrible alternative to life. Ooh, we better read some more because I'm confused so far. Are you?
Yeah.
Carol and White? Let's do the
Okay.
paragraph here.
Forgiveness to destroy will therefore suit the purpose of the world far better than its true objective and the honest means by which this goal is reached. Forgiveness to destroy will overlook no sin, no crime, no guilt that it can seek and find and love. Dear to its heart is error, and mistakes loom large and grow and swell within its sight. It carefully picks out all evil things and overlooks the loving as a plague, a hateful thing of danger and of death. Forgiveness to destroy is death, and this it sees in all it looks upon and hates. God's mercy has become a twisted knife that would destroy the Holy Son he loves.
Let's do some more, okay? Anybody have any comments? Or let's see if he's usually a good explainer. Let's do another. Ron, do paragraph 3, please.
Yes. Would you forgive yourself for doing this? Then learn that God has given you a means by which you can return to Him in peace. Do not see error. Do not make it real. Select the loving and forgive the sin by choosing in its place the face of Christ. How otherwise can prayer return to God? He loves His Son. Can you remember Him and hate what He created? You will hate His Father if you hate the Son He loves. For as you see the Son, you see yourself, and as you see yourself is God to you.
So I think with 3 paragraphs, I'm starting to get a feel for this. is this section starting out, at least it's talking about forgiveness to destroy. You see that in paragraph 2?
Mhm.
I would call that a ego substitute. There are a lot of ego substitutions, right? Where the ego takes something that's true rather than keeping it authentic, just kind of twist it a little bit, okay? It's basically the truth. For example, if love created me like itself, you remember that? Lesson 67, one of my favorites. What am I? If it's true, if it's true, I don't know anything. If love created me like itself, what am I?
Then I am love
When?
all the time.
Does that make sense? Then who told you you can love sometime and hate sometime and be neutral on the fence about being loving? If you're love, what would you be? Loving. When?
Always.
Oh,
Does that ring true? Or is it truer that you could love and hate? Who gave you the prerogative of loving and hating? It's an
ego.
ego substitute. I
It's the
wonder
ego thing.
how cunning the ego is. So, even in the subject of forgiveness, it can offer a substitute that you may be sincerely trying to do better, right? I'm going to forgive. But beware of forgiveness to destroy. Don't let him trip you up. How he's deceitful, right? To me, in paragraph 3, sentence 2, Jesus says, then learn that God has given you the means by which you can return to him in peace. What's the means? Do you see it?
Forgiveness.
Not
Read
see
it.
error.
Read it verbatim. Yes, read it again, Hilda.
Do not see error. Do not make it real.
All right. So I am going to forgive you for what you did, even though I know you did it. I saw it.
Kind of makes you better than somebody else. So
Okay. So I may be nice to you and stuff, but what I'm doing is correcting and trying to make you better through forgiveness, because that's what my church taught me. And I'm going to be the bigger person. And I saw it. I know I saw it, but I'm going to rise above that and forgive you. So it says, do not see error. Sentence 4. Do not make it real. Select the loving and forgive the sin by choosing in its place the face of Christ. In real time, when you see an attack, go, I didn't see anything. That never happened. That's the practice. How we doing?
Good.
Okay. I'm not going to try and figure out why you attacked me or why you were obstinate or mean or whatever. When I see activity like that, it's an error. Move on. I'm hallucinating again. Oh, wow. I hallucinated, but I know that was an hallucination, and next time I'll do better. And so you practice and you practice until you can correct it in real time, not later on. Because if it wasn't loving, how could it be real? That is what illusions are. Now, I'm not saying this is true. I have no idea. But this is what these teachings offer as truth. We are literally living in the simulation of separation. Do you like it? Talk about a mental health crisis. I'm already in trouble with two voices in my head. It started a long time ago, my mental health crisis. Isn't it good to know we're living in a simulation? Thank goodness this crazy world is not real. I'm so thankful this is all a dream. But now I've got another issue. The law of cause and effect. Now I'm going, thank goodness it's only a dream, but what the heck's the cause of the dream? What is its purpose?
To support the tiny mad idea.
Well, the tiny mad idea,
Which is the ego.
okay, but let's go deep. What is the cause of the tiny mad idea?
Selfishness.
Cause and effect, right? How could we have had a tiny mad idea? What caused it?
The ego.
What
Actually, we don't
caused the
know.
ego?
Separation.
Caused the ego. It wasn't a coincidence, was it?
No.
I believe A Course in Miracles teaches us that the world is a lesson. The world is a lesson to help us get better in how to use our God-given power. Lesson. You cannot use your power to make a separate heaven for yourself. It will not work. Here, let me show you. But I'll keep you safe the whole time because it's going to be a rough ride looking at separation. So how about this? I'll keep you at home in God and give you a vision of it and a simulation of what separation looks like. You wanted to know, right? Right?
Yes.
You wanted to play with those sharp-edged children's toys. All right, I gave you free will. I'll let you go ahead and have that, what do you call it? Sow your wild oats or whatever you call it. but you'll be safe the whole time at home, okay? I'll do it for you in a simulation so you can see for yourself that the desire for separate heavens does not work. Never did work, never can work, never will work. Why? Because it has no cause. The only cause is the creator, the author of how much of reality? Anybody know? All
I love it.
reality. Yes?
Yes.
So if it didn't come from a cause with a capital C, do you see that it's a misuse of your creative power? Same power in a direction that's not true. Therefore, it has no cause. If God didn't will it, it can't be real. Because God is all of it, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. What does it take to get you to respect that? My ego will say, I'll never respect that. I know I can do this and have my own separate heaven. He's insane, isn't he? And if you follow it, you'll be insane, is what is being taught here. So let me show you another direction. And if you're willing, I'll give you a teacher that will show you how to get out of the mess that you made thinking you had your own separate heaven. I'm not mad at you. It's simply not true. And when you get ready, we're going to have to let it go. I'll show you how. But I can't do it if you're not willing, right?
Right.
Why? Free will, the hallmark of love. God himself can't change what you don't want to change. Why? Free will. Is that a loving thing to offer? Free
Right.
will.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be tempered with wisdom too, because it'll give you what you don't want as easily as it'll give you what you do want. See? This is a mistake, right?
Right.
So it's inevitable. You'll see it's a mistake. It's just sad. How long do you want to suffer before you admit, I'm not an individual? What could we accomplish with unified goals? 8 billion people unified? Yeah, but the Holy Spirit's in all 8 billion. It ain't like I got to make a new spirit to get into them. They came pre-packaged with 2 voices. So all I got to do is to get them to turn from one voice to another. How can I best do that? By showing them the truth. One way you show the truth is by showing what the truth is not. My kids will get it. Did we go too long?
No,
We ended up
Yep.
with paragraph 4, right? On
Yes.
page 10.
Mhm.
And I'm just looking here at paragraph 5. It starts out, this is the great deception of the world, and you, the great deceiver of yourself. Separation does not work. Don't deceive yourself that it does or ever could. Just look around you. And you go, yeah, it's not working. And then you go, oh, yeah, but thank goodness it's a simulation. It's an educational dream. It's for my good. Because I'm safe at home the whole time. The only thing that's happening to me is a lesson. What's the lesson? All is one. It's not 2 or 3 or 8 billion. The universe is one song. The song of prayer gets us back into that zone but first you have to remove the blocks. And the practice for that is called forgiveness. So I don't want to go any further over tonight. A lot of times I take your quietness as being a good thing. Is that the right way to take it?
Yeah, I think so.
yes,
Mhm.
All right. And it's helpful to have another way of seeing things because the traditional way can be so depressing, right? It has its ups and downs, but it always has its downs. It's like, do you see the glass half empty or half full? Can I get a full glass, please? Isn't there some way to get a full? Who commanded that that's all you can get is half a glass? And then you read these teachings that say, yes, there is a way. As a matter of fact, that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
right.
Mhm.
All right. I need to quit. Comments, final comments, or anything from anybody. All right. You have a good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was thoughtful.
Okay. So
Thoughtful
I'm
time.
seeing corn. Do you know how happy that makes me? And do you see how the joy is mutual?
Thank you.
That's the way we're supposed to operate and serve each other.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Hilda for our prayer protection. Please, Hilda.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. I am the light of God.
I am
I
the
And the
am
light
the
of
light of
God.
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 I am the love of God.
I
I
am
I
am the
am
love
the
of
Love
love
of
God.
of
God.
God.
I am the power of God.
I
I
am
I am
am
the
the
power
The
of
power
power
of
God.
of
God.
God.
I am the presence of God.
I
I
I
am
I
am the
am
am the
presence
the
of
presence
presence
of
presence.
of
God.
God.
Therefore,
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 wherever I am,
wherever
wherever
I
I
am,
am,
God is,
God
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 is,
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 and all
and
is well.
and
And
all
is well.
Well,
There is nothing to fear.
there is
There is
nothing,
nothing to fear.
fear.
There is only love.
there is
There is only love.
Namaste.
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 Please let love simplify your life, but you'll have to be willing to let love do it. Give it a try. I'm working on it too. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
Good night,
blessed week,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.